Why is not Columbus a hero? CNN and the enemies of actually civilization started a campaign to destroy our symbols, the symbols of the United States of America, and destroy their heroes, the heroes the people can follow, the people can see and understand how they change the planet. Not just our nation, not just the Americas, not just Europe, not just Africa, not just a continent, but the planet itself. Christopher Columbus, in my opinion, is the closest that we ever had to a living God. Just simple as that. As simple as that. Let me explain what I'm talking about. I was walking in Barcelona, walking with my late friend, Mari Carmen Ibanez. We were walking her pet, Katie, on a park in the middle of Barcelona. Or actually, it was Terraza. And I heard this familiar sound, and I look around and I spotted right away a bird that belonged in the American continent. And then I realized, oh wow. And Mari Carmen explained to me these birds are basically taking over Barcelona. They everywhere. They singing and procreating. And that is what Columbus accomplished. He just did not make history. He just did not, how can I say, discover a continent, because he didn't. There were people here already. And that is what he did. He united people. He united the people of two continents, and by default, the entire planet. Because after Columbus came others, but Columbus was the first to open the door to something new. It's like going to the moon and find Martians over there in the moon. That is what Columbus accomplished. And of course, people who has how can I say, people who can accomplish things, but they are not in a political power. People like I don't know, Abraham, the guy who created the atomic weapon, Van Braun, the guy who created rockets, all Einstein, and so many other physicists and science and amazing people, the people who truly change the planet, are not the politicians. And because they are not the politicians, they always get blamed, and they get that ability taken away from them. And that is what happened with Columbus. Um, it's just a black legend. That is what it is. They create this black legend around him that he is the one that killed the Indians. Well, he did name them Indians because he really thought he was an Indian. He was going to India. So he was not a genius, but he has something that no human today have, and that is a fortitude to go places where no one ever have before and risk the entire life on it. Literally, no figurative. That is why Columbus is the closest thing to a living God. Today we have a population that we call Hispanics in Latin. And we call them now Afro Latin. That was not Columbus. That is us today. That is who is creating that black legend that is destroying us, removing our identity, creating new identities that don't belong to us, and destroying the past. Because make no mistake about it, this past cannot be reconfigured. When you walk in the streets of Barcelona in the Iberia Peninsula, those birds, they will never return to the American continent. And the biology created by Columbus and the people who follow from the Iberia Peninsula, they're still here. And you can never remove them. Remove them. So now you can change their names, you can change their colors, you can change their identity, you can change whatever. But it's amazing that you have not been able to change their language. They continue to speak Castilian right now. And people will say, well, the English language is superlative. Is it? Is it? Because there is more people right now are speaking Castilian and are learning the Castilian language than any native English anywhere. Analyze that data. And that was Colón. Colón did that. We don't know where he come from. But I do have a good idea because I studied Colón. Colón to me is, like I say, a living God, in my opinion. Colón is all I want to be. Colón. Colón is like, it's just an amazing human being. No, Colón did not kill the Indians. No, he did not. When General Custer got his Italian soldiers and they end up on the Little Big Horn, they were fighting what you call, guys, Indians. They spoke Castilian and their names were Pedro, Geronimo. They did not exterminate the native. As a matter of fact, the Colón created, enriched the biology. They crisscross each other and they intermarriage and they exchange culture. They brought Christianity to the Americas. They promote the native from being a group of tribes in the Stone Age without steel, without the wheel, without animals to move weight. The only thing they had was the llama. They came all the way from Stone Age to Little Big Horn because Cristobal Colón. They did not exterminate them. But the United States of America did. And the reason they did it was because they finally got hijacked by the English. Those people no longer were Jefferson and Monroe and Washington. No, these people already have been changed into Englishmen, into color code, into groups, Scots and Irish and Welsh and Picts. The Spaniards never did that, ever. And they were the strongest. So that is why they created the Black Legend. And I am proud that today we, the United States of America, name the capital of the United States of America District of Columbia in name of Christopher Colón. So that is the very reason why Colón, Cristobal Colón, or Columbus, how the English is pronounced it, is not a hero. He's not taught in the schools because it's a black legend. They need to destroy him. They need to destroy the true identity of the United States of America so they can take over. That is the reason why they bombard you with commercials calling you American, because all it is conditioning. They're conditioning you. So when you hear that sound, American, oh, it's me. You pay attention. You identify. That is why they call you white. White. They call you white for the same reason. It's like a little puppy that you train. They train in you. You becoming their puppies. So when they say on television, the white people, oh, that's me, I'm white. And you will defend it. You will defend exactly what I'm telling you right now. The Columbus is a living God. But if you analyze the data, the biology changed by Columbus, the navigation standards, the language, the cultural exchange, the advancement of a continent from the Stone Age to today, then you will realize who really Columbus was. In my opinion, he was a Catalan. Columbus never spoke Italian. And the Italians are no Italians. The Italians are the Lombardos and the Ostrogoths. Columbus never spoke or wrote in Italian. But he did in Catalan, in Castilian, in Portuguese, in French. So we don't know where Colon come from. But look at his biology. The biology of Cristobal Colon is no different than the Norman, than the, I don't know, the people living in the English islands, or people living on the northern part of Europe, anywhere in Europe. So if you say to me, the Vikings, come here first, I can say to you, Columbus was also a Viking. Columbus was everything. Columbus was a native, a tribesman. And Columbus was living at a time where they were fighting for the survival of Western culture, fighting the Moros. And they won. They succeeded because people like Columbus. So before you judge Columbus and break his monuments, analyze yourself really deeply. Who would you rather be? Who would you rather be? A man who is color coded? A man so easily confused by somebody else? A man that when someone create a sound and apply to his mind, he will follow? Analyze who you want to be. An American or a United States of American national? Or a man like Colon, like Cristobal Colon, like Magallanes, like Amerigo Vespucci, that this country and this continent is named after Amerigo Vespucci, Hidalgo, Vivar, Rodriguez. Who you want to be? You want to be like George Washington, Monroe, or you want just follow? Because if you destroy any monument of Cristobal Colon, it's because you are just a follower, a loser. That is what you are. You probably cannot even come out with a result of an equation of 3 plus 3 multiplied by 3 more. Or what is 1/2 with a negative 3 exponent? All you know, all you have learned is to follow a guy on TV. And we don't need people like that. We need people like Columbus, like Cristobal Colon, that get on a freaking boat and go try to find something new. We need somebody like Colon right now to get on the rocket and go someplace else to find a place where we can move to someday. So analyze yourself, who you really are and who really is a hero. Are you a hero or are you a follower? Saludos.